Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of G Slade's Indie Music Showcase. And if you like this show, then you're probably into indie music, even if you're only here to see today's guest because maybe you're a fan of theirs. But rest assured that we have a huge archive of great shows at gsladeshow.com or on your platform that you're listening to now. Whatever platform you're on, you can go back to episode 1 and just binge for hours. The only exception would be YouTube, but that library is growing as well. So I appreciate you coming by. And if you are a listener and not a video subscriber, I would suggest you check out YouTube and watch these shows when they're available, because it's just a whole different dynamic than just the voice. And if you have time to watch, I think it's really cool to see these artists. You hear what they say, but you can see the facial expressions, and it's just a new level to the experience. You get to see some of the cool artwork, and it's just a lot of fun. So with that said, really appreciate you coming by. And if you want to continue to support indie music, the sponsor of the show, G Slade Music, also an indie artist, check him out on Spotify or your favorite platforms, or go over to gslade.com. And hopefully you find a couple of songs you like. The latest single is Canceled, and it's doing pretty well on Spotify. And I invite you to listen and download the entire library of the show if you just want hours, over 100 hours of content. Great music, great interviews, great people. I just can't put everybody over enough. And I have a great time doing this show. And if I'm enjoying it, surely other people out there will enjoy the experience as well. Again, so excited that you came by today, whether it's the first time you've seen the show or listened to the show, or if you come every week. I appreciate you. So thank you very much. And without further ado, let's get to today's featured artist. All right. Peace out. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of G Slade's Indie Music Showcase. So glad you are back. And I think we're really going to enjoy talking today with Shimmer Johnson. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right on. It's the second time on, so I guess the first time wasn't too unpleasant because you came back for more. So
that's true. I did.
I appreciate that. And you've had a busy 2021 already. I just see you all over my social media, new releases and new news on the charts and all that. I won't go through it all because we'll get to it. But yeah, how's your 2021 going? How you feeling?
It's doing great. I put out my album Inner Me with 13 songs, and like you said, it's been climbing charts on the Euro Indie charts as well as the World Indie charts. I'm on over 1,500 radio stations.
Wow.
Which include like media-based stations and such, with my song Masterpiece. Priceless is also doing pretty well on the radio as well. And basically, I have just been finishing songs like Glass. I just finished and wrote with my friend Bernie Stevenson and Corey Johnson. And we decided after we finished that we were just going to release it. And then Walls was a song that I wrote back in 2001, and I always wanted to release it. It's been sitting on my hard drive for 20 years, and so I re-sang it and revamped it, and we're going to release that on the 19th. And my goal for this year is just to keep on releasing singles once every 2 weeks or once every month, so that I have continuous music coming out, because I have so much that I might as well, right? So
yeah, right on. I think we talked about you having a lot in the tank when we first talked, and we were talking about this album as a future album. So it's awesome to see it come to fruition, and to see the success. Now, releasing a song you wrote 20 years ago, was it something you had to rewrite a little bit? Was it still relevant today?
It's still relevant. It was just a piano song. So just vocal and piano. And we just chose a newer sounding piano. I re-sang the vocals, so they were to my standard to releasing. And
Right.
yeah, and we just got it ready and gonna release it on my son's birthday on the 19th. So
April 19th or March?
May 19th.
May 19th. Okay. I don't know what month it is.
It is May.
That's amazing. Half the year is almost over, and I don't even think I got started yet. High school's just ending, and got to get ready to send kids to college already. So,
Yep.
how old your son? How old is he now?
My son will be turning 11.
That's a fun age. That's how old my daughter is. My youngest daughter is 11. So, exciting times. And what was my next question? I'm terrible at remembering questions, and I don't really write them down.
All good.
But I do remember from our first interview, because you mentioned you got the vocals to your standards, which was an important piece of your philosophy, right? When we talked, you talked about how, if you're going to bother to put something out, make sure it's quality, right?
Yep, exactly. You don't want to put something out that has anything remotely wrong with it, because it only takes that one person to listen to you. And if you put out a track that sounds like a demo and it happens to be a major label that's listening to it, then your shot is gone.
Done. Yeah. And you might as well fix it while you can, right? You can't really unring the bell once you put it out there. I mean, you could put out like a remixed or remastered or whatever, but like you said, if you make a first impression with the bad version, it's kind of done.
Yeah. And so always put out your best. Don't put out any stuff that sucks.
Well, I'm guessing you've gotten down the art of not sucking pretty well, considering one of your songs even hit #1 on a chart. Now, which song was that?
Priceless, off my Inner Me album. It hit #1 and it stayed there, I believe, for 4 weeks, I think. I don't remember exactly, but it stayed up there at #1 for a while. And then it also made it to #2 on the Euro indie charts as well. And it stayed up there for a long time. Now the second single from the Inner Me album, Masterpiece, is starting to chart as well. It's at #4 on the world, not on the world, on the Euro indie charts. And it's also starting to move up. I think it's at #6 on the world indie charts right now. So
that's amazing. Like you're getting that tipping point, right? That Malcolm Gladwell talks about, where it just becomes uncontrollable after a certain point. So that's awesome. I see, obviously your social media is very busy, and if I understand you correctly, that's pretty much you doing that and not like a rep, like a third party or anything.
That's correct. I do everything myself. I have a specific way that I like to promote my music and me as a person, and so I like to do it all myself. Plus, it's cheaper to do it all yourself. It's a lot more work, but it's a lot cheaper. You could pay
investment, right? You're investing in yourself. So.
Exactly, but you can pay for it and have other people do it too, and that works out great in some cases, right? So, but with me, it's COVID, and my production company has not been open for 15 months, so not a lot of money coming in right now. So I've just been, doing the best I can with myself and my time. So
I was going to follow up on that, because we talked about that at the first interview, and we talked about how much money you'd already missed out on because of cancellations and just being closed. Yeah. So what's the trajectory for that? I mean, is there any light at the end of the tunnel yet, or?
No, we've been closed for 15 months now. So, and so my gear for my production company is just sitting and rotting in my garage. But wow. It is what it is. They won't let us do any live shows here in Canada yet, and so not much we can do about it at the moment.
Seems like something outdoors would be possible, or I don't know, but I'm not there, so I don't understand the dynamic as well as
My production company did a funeral.
How do you produce a funeral? What goes into that?
I don't even know. It was a drive-through funeral. I don't know. Oh. They had Elvis singing on a thing for a drive-through. I don't know. It was really weird. I wasn't there.
But it paid, right? Was it a paying gig? Or?
It paid a little bit, not much, but yeah, it paid a little bit.
Wow. Well, hey, it's something.
Yeah, it is.
It's out there now. It's in the ether. It's on the resume. So, Well, I sure hope that you get to do something, really productive. And, when you guys do get unleashed, I'm sure you won't be able to keep up with the demand because everybody will want to do something. Festivals are going crazy in the US now. They're just popping up left and right. So
Yeah. And no, I'm doing pretty good. Michael J, I wrote, no, I didn't write. I sang his song on my Inner Me album, Toy Soldiers, from
yeah,
1989 hit from
we talked
Martika.
about that
I
before.
released that, and that actually got played on the Ham Radio Show about a week ago, and that's a Sirius XM radio talk show, which is cool. And I'm supposed to go back on there in a couple weeks for that song. And what's really cool about Toy Soldiers is Michael J's totally pumped and excited to write a couple more songs with me for my next album. So I'm excited about that. As soon as the borders open, I want to go back to LA so I can go and do some songwriting.
So it must be the Canada side that keeps you there, because I know people from Europe are traveling here.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, Canada's borders closed. We can't travel there or anything. We can't even travel in between provinces at the moment.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting how we're so close. And, in essence, we're so close, right? We share a border, and yet it's so different.
I know.
But I did have a friend in Winnipeg that told me there's challenges with like vaccine availability and things like that. So I guess that contributes, and,
Yeah.
but it's all working towards there. But in the meantime, you can be very productive online, which you've been, which is really exciting. And what we want to really focus on today. So the Inner Me album, I know we kind of went over it, but now that it's out, what's been your feedback on it? How's it been received as far as you getting direct feedback from either listeners or, PR firms or whoever?
So far, everybody loves it. I've got reviews saying that I'm amazing, talented, and that it's an emotional roller coaster album, because I go through happy, melancholy, a little bit of everything, and it just travels through the emotions, right? So people are connecting to it and loving it, and that's really all any artist could hope for, really. So
great. Yeah, I had an artist tell me that you want to make it kind of a W for emotions, like, start high and then you take it down, bring it back up. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's an interesting way. He was more talking about how to lay out a set list more than just an album, but I guess it would be a similar philosophy either way.
Yeah, I started off with a more happier song, right? And then went to Priceless, and then the third, so mine does go up and down throughout the whole album. So
now, did you distribute this album on TikTok as well? Because I know you like to TikTok a lot.
Yes, I had some issues with my distribution company. I originally released it with Spin Up, which is Universal's independent distribution company. And because it had a cover on there, they refused to send it to TikTok and
oh, wow.
Facebook and Instagram. And I was getting frustrated because they wouldn't release any of my other songs either off of the album, of the 13 songs. I figured they would just hold back Toy Soldiers because it was a cover, but I got the license and everything for it. I paid for it. So I wasn't sure why they weren't sending it out, but they wouldn't send it out. So I went and talked to Warner's distribution, which is Level Music. And they're like, no, we'll send it to TikTok and Facebook. And so I switched my distribution about a week ago, and my views and everything have gone up since then because I have 48,000, followers on TikTok.
Which I'm one of.
Yeah, I have 48,000 followers on TikTok, and I wasn't able to get my sounds for anybody to use for like the first 2 months. So it just really sucked. But so only thing I don't like about Spin Up is then if you have a cover on the song, they will not send it to any of the socials, which
that's wild because so many people have a cover or two on their album.
I know. And if you do a cover song, they won't do it. And I'm like, that's dumb. But Level Music did. So
you got big bands that'll put out a whole cover EP every now and then.
I know.
Hailstorm has like 3 of them out, in between albums, things like that. Huh. Well, interesting. All right. And then the single Glass, is that off the Enemy album or is that separate?
It's just a separate single that I wrote with my co-writer Corey Johnson and Bernie Stevenson. And basically we just loved it and just said, let's just release it because it's good and we like it. And we think the mass majority of people that listen to my type of music will love it. So we put it out.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, if you're cool, we'll play it and everybody can hear it here. And then you can go stream it on their favorite platform, even on TikTok now, right?
Yes.
So give me a sense of what the song is, to you and kind of like what it means or.
It's just about life in general. You've like the first line from the song is, "You've been through hell and back again, step through the glass." What's really funny is the song's called Glass, but glass isn't even in the chorus. It's just in the beginning of the song and at the end of the song. And it's basically referencing, we all go through things through life and you have to step through the crap throughout life, the hardships and the good things and the bad things, and that we all experience that it's okay to, be emotional and be happy when things happen for you and to be sad when other bad things happen to you and, just live life the best you can and make the best of the world, basically. It's what Glass is all about.
Awesome. I like that sentiment. I always tell my kids nothing's permanent, good or bad.
Yeah.
You'll be up, then you'll be down. Sometimes you'll just be kind of in the middle on cruise. And, just be ready for the shifts when they come and don't get too used to any one feeling because it's going to change.
Yep.
But that's life, right?
That is.
Well, we'll play it and I'll just mute myself here so I don't disturb any of our listeners with crazy noises. And we'll be right back. Talk some more to Shimmer. Let's play Glass. We'll be right back.
All right.
You've been through hell and back again. Step through the glass, bled through the tears. You lost your faith sometime back, then regained the trust. You broke within. Don't be scared to raise your voice. They're listening, listening, listening now. Just make a difference to one. Be kind in all that you've done. Be the best you can and you have won. Just reach up to the stars and you will find the sun. Not everything you face can be changed, but nothing's changed without your strength. When you broke down and lost your way, stand back up, find the lighter shade. Don't be scared to raise your voice. They're listening, listening, listening now. Just make a difference to one. Be kind in all that you've done. Be the best you can and you have won. Just reach up to the stars and you will find the sun. Life's short, just dream. Make things start happening. Don't hide behind the scenes. Just let yourself be seen. Just make a difference to one. Be kind in all that you've done. Be the best you can and you back again. Step through the glass, bled through the tears. You found your faith, you lost back then. Regain the trust, it's found again.
All right, everybody. That was a great song, and I am very excited that we get to have a conversation with the very artist singing that song. That's one of my favorite aspects of this show, and we are going to get right back to more conversation with our featured artist today, right after this quick little word about our sponsor, G Slade Music. And if you're into merchandise for indie music, all you got to do is go to your web browser and pull up that URL bar and go to merch.gslade.com. And you can see that popping up right there. And you can see that we have several different designs to choose from. And once you choose that design, you can pick from a wide array of custom items. We have the Raised in America Eyeball Bear tee, which is really excellent. My daughter Sadie made the design for this, and I'm just crazy about it. It correlates to the last album, Raised in America, which you can stream right now on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube. We have just, if you want the logo on a shirt, we have that. And we have a couple of our favorite hashtags from the show. Hashtag Oprah Digs It, hashtag Die Buff. Those are a few inside baseball jokes that harken back to some of the episodes in the archive. So check out all the shows over at gsladeshow.com or on your favorite platform. And you will be in the loop and understand those jokes. We also have a couple of artists or cover arts from the Raised in America album, including Proud of My Sin, which aren't we all? I know I am. And one of my favorite, though, is this eyeball shirt. And I tell you, it comes in pretty high quality. You get a French Terry t-shirt, and it's got the logo on the front, and then on the back you got our little mascot, the little bear. And this is all a creation of Sadie, which is just awesome. And she has more art out there. Keep an eye out for her. She's going to do big things. But in the meantime, let's us do big things and grab you a shirt. You can get it in men's or women's and get it shipped right to you. I hope you find something you like on there, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. All right, peace out. All right, that was Glass, Shimmer Johnson. Enjoyed that one. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
There was a moment where I was like reminded of the type of music that Massive Attack used to make. You familiar with them?
Yep.
You know, they make those like chill vibe songs, and sometimes there'd be vocals over them. Sometimes there wouldn't be, and they would work with different artists, and so that was a cool thought during it. But yeah, I like that. I like the kind of warbly. I guess it was like a bass synth or something like that.
I think so. I don't know. That's the co-writer.
Right, but it worked. It sounded good and definitely well produced. So,
thanks.
You guys go spin Glass much you can, and I added it to the show's playlist. You know, so
Awesome.
There's a perk. You know, don't even have to pitch it. Which I hadn't figured out the art of that yet. In fact, that's what I was asked on the last interview. They were like, yeah, I hadn't figured out the pitching the Spotify thing yet. And I'm like, I bet Shimmer knows about that.
Yeah, you can pitch it in the Spotify for Artists. You have to pitch it 2 to 3 weeks before. You have to give your single enough time for you to be able to pitch it. If you do it too late and they don't have enough time to listen to it, then it won't. But I always have 2 or 3 weeks before I release it that I pitch it. But I still haven't got picked by Spotify to be on any playlist yet. So,
yeah, I was looking at stats on one of my songs, and it was like, you know how it tells you your percentage of like where people are listening on their own playlist or algorithmic. It was like on the Spotify algorithmic thing, it was like 1%.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I'm at 7, I think.
Yeah, at least it's not 0, I guess. So somebody found me that wasn't looking for me. So that's awesome. Because it's easy to be found if they're looking for you, but it's the people that have never heard you got to get to. And have you had any feedback on Glass yet? I know
it's only been out for a couple days. Everybody seems to like it so far, but yeah,
it's definitely on brand. You know, I like it. It's chill, but it's cool. And like I say, it invoked thoughts of Massive Attack with the music to me, which is never a bad thing. I'll just jam their discography sometimes. When I'm not jamming excellent indie music, of course, which is most of the time now, unless a new metal album comes out that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, my current music I'm releasing is pretty chill. So
nothing wrong with that. Not everything has to be, you know, a pop concert.
Well, I'm looking for like placements too for like I would love to get one of my songs in like Grey's Anatomy or one of those shows, right? Because that's the style of music that I write with my piano stuff. So
that's funny you say that because the probably the most popular Massive Attack song was the theme song of House for years.
Yep.
Teardrop, which great song. You guys need something to listen to after you binge through all of Enter Me and Glass. Go check out Massive Attack.
I love Massive Attack.
Or G Slade. Go listen to him. He's great. That's what I hear. But, so moving on to the album Enter Me, am I imagining or did you like let social media kind of pick the album cover?
No. Well, what do you mean social media pick the...
Didn't you post a few different album covers like that you were thinking about using? It seems like... Yeah,
well, I had on social media, my friend had drew the girl.
Yeah.
But she had different meanings whichever way you tilted her. So I had the picture 3 or 4 different ones saying which one would be cooler. And the one I decided on was the one that's actually, you know, on the cover. And it's her facing down. So it's like almost like, let's see if I can find it on my phone. But it's her facing down. But yeah, I gave a few different options because I wanted to hear and see and what the people thought on Twitter and what they would choose. Because I kind of had the idea of what I wanted, but I wasn't quite sure if it was what I wanted.
Right. Now, you know, obviously some of that's, like you said, getting the opinions, but it is part of it, you know, like a kind of like a double strategy. It also kind of stirs interest.
Yeah, and helps stir interest because you're talking about it even prior before it's even released, right?
Mm-hmm. And get people involved and, you know.
Yeah, the more you get, you know, people and fans involved in decisions, then I think it brings more, you know, relevance, I guess, to your music because people feel like, so I had shared that one on that way, which is kind of her being expressive.
Mm-hmm. And then, almost like a ballet move or something.
Yeah, and then I did that one.
Right. Which she either looks like she's flying or falling.
Yeah, and it looks like she's releasing all her emotions. Mm-hmm. And there's this one where it's like she's losing emotions type thing. And that was the one I ended up, you know, deciding to go with.
I got you. See, when I looked at it, I was like, it was like she was being uplifted by whatever's flying around under her.
Yeah, so that ended up being the cover that everybody knows now that we went with. And I don't know, everybody loves the artwork. I've been told that it's very like old school, like from like, you know, back in Rolling Stones days and stuff when they used to do the really cool covers and people would buy the album for the cover almost for the, you know, the records and to get the signature and that type of thing. So when I released this album, I wanted to do it pretty old school. So when you order my album off of my website, I actually sign the album and plus it has all the lyrics. So it's got a lyric book and everything in it. So
when you say the album, is it vinyl, CD?
It's just a CD. Yeah. I would probably be getting vinyl for it eventually, but right now it's just a CD.
I have found that vinyl is I'm way more likely to buy vinyl as an impulse buy if it's like in front of me, especially physically if I'm at a show,
Yeah, for the shows I'll be getting vinyl, but right now I just needed something, so I had merch for it on my website, and so CDs were the best way for me to get some merch happening on my website, and it was still old school enough that people wanted to hear it and have the signature, and I don't know, it's awesome. I love it.
So if you're signing it, I assume you keep the inventory and physically ship it yourself?
I do, yeah. I ship everything myself right now. I sign it and then I shrink wrap it and send it off.
And do you feel that's more effective or at least better than having like drop ship through a distributor?
I don't know. It's just for me, I can control it better that way right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
but if you sell like 1 million of them, you may want to.
Yeah, then I would be looking at getting somebody else to do it for me. I'd just sign them all and then bring the box over for them to ship off to everyone.
You'd sign 1 million covers?
I would.
Is that even humanly possible? Like,
it would take me months, but I would.
I don't know. How long do you think it takes you to write your signature?
Not that long. It's more irritating to take it out, take the lyric book out, open it, sign it. Yeah.
Let's just say someone else is doing all that for you, and all you got to do is sit there and sign them, right?
Yeah.
And it's got to take you at least 1 whole second, right?
At least.
So I'm doing some quick math on my calculator here because I'm fascinated at this idea now. So you have 1 million seconds. So we're going to divide that by 60, right? And that'll give us our number of minutes. And then we're going to divide that by 60, and that's going to give us our number of hours. And then we're going to divide that by 24, which will give us our number of days, which comes to 11 and a half days of continuous signing. This is 24 hours a day.
Yeah. So that's what I said. It'd only take me a couple months to do it.
Yeah.
So I would totally do it. If I had 1 million people buying my album, I would have no problem sitting here and signing them one by one personally.
That would be worth an interview all on its. Like, you have to live stream that. Like, I just feel like that would be so fast.
I would totally live stream all of my signings.
I'd be like, Shimmer, the girl of 1 million signatures. Like, I bet no one else has ever done that. Maybe cumulatively across years, but I just can't. Like, that's amazing. Like, I couldn't imagine.
I would honestly totally do that if that happened, and all of a sudden,
we need to make it happen.
My song went viral and it sold 1 million copies. I would be more than happy to do that.
That'd be amazing if we can make that happen. Amazing. All 1 million viewers of my show need to go do that. All of you. Okay. Sweet. So who made the artwork? Was that you? Or?
Morgan Knutson did. She's awesome. She's a fabulous artist and a good friend. She actually hosts on haunted hospitals and stuff like that. She does all the... here, let's see if I can find it. But yeah, she's on the haunted hospitals and...
Is that like a show?
Yeah, it's a show on like TBS or whatever, and she's like a speaker on it, or I'm trying to think of the word.
Like a host?
Not a host. She's expert. That's it. That's the word.
Like
she's an expert on the show for,
Now, is that just an act, or is she really into that?
No, she's really into that. She's awesome. Yeah. And she happens to be a fabulous artist too. So.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, she did a great job on that. So, have you used her before, or was that the first time?
That was the first time, yeah. I wanted something particular, and I explained to her what I wanted, and she drew that girl for me, and that was exactly what I wanted. So. Sweet.
You think you use her again, or you want to like change it up so things are different from album to album?
I don't know. Well, Glass, I did that one myself, that cover. And Walls, I did that cover myself.
But you guys can see Glass if I get out of the way. See, it's right here.
Yes, it's cool. I love it.
I love it so much I painted the walls.
Yes, you did.
It's got a lot of work painting the wall every time I do a show for my artist.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are worth it. If you can do 1 million signatures, I can paint a wall,
Exactly.
in your exact album cover. All right, but let's talk about Enter Me. I'm just looking at it. I got my Spotify player pulled up, the actual app. I'm like retro.
Okay.
I got the actual Spotify app. And I tell you why, pro tip. The web player is nice and convenient unless you listen to podcasts and you like different speeds.
Yeah.
On the web player, you can't adjust the playback speed. And I tell you, nothing is more dull than people talking at normal speeds for me, because I have to hear it fast. So I don't know if they slow those down when they post them or what, but they just sound so slow to me.
Really?
Yeah. I listened to them at 1.5 and my wife thinks I'm nuts. I'm like, that's how I do audiobooks and everything. I don't know. I'm just like, they just go slow. And I don't know. There's it actually changes the whole tone. I don't know. I find it more entertaining. When I listen back to my own show, I play it faster, which makes the music sound weird. But then I'm like, maybe I should make faster songs. Because I'm like, oh, it's kind of appealing. Because a lot of times I'll have one of mine like at the bookends, kind of like an ad. Got to do a little promotion, right? And I'm like, it sounds kind of cool. So I'll play with that when I'm like writing stuff later. Like I'll write it and I'll be like, all right, let's speed it up, see if it sounds better. Kind of like the opposite of what you're doing, because yours are chill and I'm just like, let's go faster.
Yeah, my songs are all chill.
Nothing wrong with that though. But I bet you could do some pretty killer vocals on somebody's like rock track or something.
Yeah, well, like we discussed last time, I have my rock project, which is De Benedetta. And we're actually working on a second album right now. We're going to re-release the Shadows album with 2 bonus songs and basically do some full promotion on it. So there will be a rock album out. It'll be De Benedetta featuring Shimmer Johnson. And it's kind of like on the lines of Evanescence meets Hailstorm meets...
I'm sold.
So, yeah. You'll get to hear me scream and do my crazy rock singing in that project.
Well, whether we have another episode about it or not, I'll definitely share it when it comes out, because that's exciting. And that's the guy from Cinderella?
Yeah, Barry Benedetta, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. They were all right, huh? They did a few things back in the day. They were
he was only on the one album. He just played guitar on the Platinum album, the
big album, of course. Yeah. Now we know why it was big.
Yeah, he only played on that one, and he never ever toured with them, really. He just literally, that was the only album he played in the studio on it. He did a little bit of tour on the Aussie tour with them, but other than that, he's pretty much just been living pretty chill with his wife.
With that.
So
that's what I'm going for. Chill with my wife. So anyway, what I started saying was I got your album pulled up on the web player here, and Priceless, which is the second track, really stands out because it has like a ton of streams. I mean,
it's the one that went #1 on the World Indie Chart, so it's got the most streams out of everyone.
Now, do you know where the chart how it determines that? I mean, what is that based on?
I have no idea. I think it's how many
you'll take it though.
Radio stations are playing it, and how much pretty much just how many replays you're getting. So I think you have to be at like over 12,000 streams or something on the radio stations. So
sweet. That's awesome. I know it takes a ton of streams to really generate revenue these days, but I know it does.
Yeah, and even to get onto like the Billboard radio stations and all those media-based stations, you have to have like 750 spins or something like that for you to even be considered to be charting on any of the Billboard charts. So
I just like your focus
something
on
like that.
Because a lot of artists are just like, yeah, if we make it, it'll be great. We just kind of do it for fun. And you're just like, nope.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And the iTunes charts are the easiest to get up on. If you have lots of people downloading it and listening to it, you'll automatically be on the charts with all the majors and stuff. So
nice. Yeah, I don't use iTunes, but I know it's hugely popular. I mean, I'm a Spotify guy just mainly because I use Android, so I don't really use the Apple products. So, but my kids are all Apple, so I'm sure they use it a lot because I think I bought a lot of gift cards for Apple, so that makes sense. But let's keep the songs going and play something from Inner Me. Now,
Okay.
Am I imagining that we had Priceless before?
I think you played. Yeah, right. I think you played Priceless. You could play Toy Soldiers because it's a really unique version. It's more of a pop rock version, kind of like if Evanescence was going to sing Toy Soldiers. That's what that song would be. Cool.
And then I will look forward to YouTube's copyright claim, which is fine. The video will still be posted. They're just like, you can't make any revenue off of it.
Oh yeah, you. Okay, well then don't play that one. Play a different one.
Well, it wouldn't make any revenue for me playing your stuff either. It still comes through the copyright claim.
That's true. Okay.
Which makes sense. But that's fine. I'm not like, that's not the purpose of the YouTube videos for me. Yeah. But I love the original Toy Soldiers. So,
yeah, it's basically, it keeps the same essence from the original, but it is subtly changed. And it's more rockier versus poppier. So
I guess the obvious question would be, what made you choose that one? I mean, there's a ton of songs you can cover, and you did this one.
I'm friends with Michael J. He's the guy that wrote the song with Martika back in the 80s. And I met him a few years ago at a networking event in LA and ended up chatting with him and talking with him. And then a couple of weeks later, I was invited back to write a song with him, and we wrote a song called Breakaway together, which he's still trying to push and get placed. But we just became really good friends, and we were actually just joking on the phone. And I'm like, I need a song for my album from you. I'd love to do one of your songs that you wrote. And he jokingly said, he's like, oh, you should do Toy Soldiers. And I'm like, actually, I already did. I just haven't sent it to you yet. He's like, oh my God, really? And yeah, and then I sent it to him, and he like loved it. And he's like, yeah, you should totally release that. So I bought the licensing to release it on the album. Originally, I was going to release it with De Benedetta because it was a rockier version of it.
Yeah.
Because my Inner Me album's pretty poppy, right? And then I said, nah, I'm just going to release it as Shimmer Johnson on my Inner Me album, and it'll just be unique. It'll be the unique track off the entire album, but it still matches the album great, which is good because it's piano, right?
Right on. And it was also, I remember when Eminem sampled that song, which I thought was cool. He definitely made it work. All right, well, let's play Toy Soldiers, one of my favorite 80s songs. So it's exciting to get to play it on the show. And I'll go quiet again because I don't want to disturb anybody while they're listening. We'll be right back. Shimmer Johnson.
Step by step, heart to heart, left, right, left, we all fall down like toy soldiers. It wasn't my intention to mislead you. It never should have been this way. What can I say? It's true, I did extend the invitation. I never knew how you'd stay. Step by step, up in the morning, my head is spinning constantly. How can it be? I was so blind to the action. If I don't stop, the next one's gonna be me. Only emptiness remains. It replaces all the pain. Step by step, heart to heart, left, right, left, we all fall down like toy soldiers. And bit by bit, torn apart, never win, but the battle wages on for toy soldiers. Only emptiness remains. It replaces all the pain. Step by step, heart to heart, left, right, left, we all fall down like toy soldiers. And bit by bit, torn apart, never win, but the battle wages on like toy soldiers. Step by step, heart to heart, left, right, left, we all fall down like toy soldiers. And bit by bit, torn apart, never win, but the battle wages on like toy soldiers. Like toy soldiers.
All right, we're back. Still talking to Shimmer. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome. I'm having a good time. It's nice to catch back up, listen to some new stuff, and some new versions of old stuff.
For sure.
After the first show we did, me and some of my other songwriters from like FOM and things like that, we kept like one thing you said that stuck with us was that whole 8 seconds before, in vocals, at least by like the first 8 seconds in the song. And
Yep.
we were like listening to some of the stuff we wrote, and I'm like, well, it's only been 3 minutes. But it was like an 8-minute metal rock song, so I guess it can get a pass for the genre, right? Might not be on top 40, but it fits in the genre.
Definitely won't be in the top 40, but
yeah, no one's gonna listen to 3 minutes of an intro on the radio.
well, even if you listen to Hailstorm,
which I do.
they'll have like maybe a 20-second intro, but most of their songs come right in with vocals of some sort within the first 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, now that I think about it, they do. But if I could sing like Lizzie Hale, I would too.
Yep.
Or like Shimmer Johnson. Either voice, I'd take it, and I'd probably just never stop singing. That'd just be what I did. But I've always envied people with really good voices. That's why one reason I like metal. It's kind of like you don't have to be Freddie Mercury to do it, Not that you don't want to do bad job, but it's not like you're not wailing through 3 octaves or something like that. So it's kind of fun. To a point, I'm not like a growly like where you can't understand me too. I'm not into that either too much. Not as performing it. Some artists sound good doing that, but if that's your thing, that's cool.
I can't do yelling and screaming like that. I'd have no voice left.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking forward to a yelly screaming album from you, or at least because I'm like I say, you got your other projects and stuff that have those different sounds. So that's exciting, though. I mean, you kind of got to do that, right? To keep, to really expand your reach. Although I've kind of seen like conflicting schools of thought on that you should really focus on like a really narrow niche to get started and then maybe branch out later. But if you branch out too early, like no one really knows who you are or like.
Yeah, well, you just have to promote them all equally the same, but to the different types of fan bases, right? So as long as they have different names, like my rock stuff's De Benedetta. So when I'm promoting rock stuff, I'm not Shimmer Johnson, I'm De Benedetta. Right. Band, and or have Aurora's Lights for my country stuff, right? So there's lots of ways. I have a country album too that I'm working on right now. So
Aurora's Lights, that sounds country.
Yep.
Because I just think of like sitting in Oklahoma, looking at lights and sitting out by a cactus and cooking beans when I think.
Yeah, so Aurora's Lights is my country thing, and probably in 2022 I'll release my country thing. But gonna work on the pop and the rock stuff this year. So
see, before I knew much about Canada, my idea of country was like, Southern and Midwest US, right? To me, that was country. And then the more I learned about Canada, I'm like, there's some cowboys up there, and cowgirls. And,
yep. Lots of rodeos.
Yeah, it's huge, So I was, I was pretty young when I had that revelation, but it's kind of like that narrow view of the world until you really start paying attention to the world and you learn a lot. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I can hear it though. You got a voice, you could do pretty much any genre, and country is really popular.
Yep.
There's a ton of money floating through country. So, and I think now if you do like a traditional country sound, it really carries a lot more weight because so much country now is like a crossover, and it's almost more pop. And then country is kind of like a rare derivative that you hardly ever get like old school stuff that I would consider country, like pre Shania Twain. Post Shania Twain's kind of got more.
Well, I wrote a song called Saturday Bliss. And it's an old school waltz. And it's one of my best country songs I've ever written. I wrote it with my good friend Ian Rossiter and my songwriter collaboration person, Corey Johnson. And us three wrote it together, and it's awesome. And it's a waltz. And there hasn't been a new waltz song in forever. So
forgive my ignorance, but what would be like a big example of a popular?
I have no idea, but I just know that there hasn't been one for a long time.
I have to look into that. Country
Me too.
Song waltz, the history of the country song waltz. Obviously, I know what a waltz is, but I never thought of it in relation to like a country song. So I haven't checked that out.
Yeah, well, it's a dance, right? So, right. But the song Saturday Bliss, it's the only dance you can do to it is a waltz. So it's one of these.
Right.
The waltz.
Is that on your calendar or just a work in progress?
That's a work in progress right now. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that's going to be that has to be interesting if you're lining up gigs. You're like,
Yeah, I was thinking the country stuff. Once I get it finished, I'll probably be touring most of that in Canada for the country stuff, and then the rock stuff. I'm going to try to get on a bigger label for that, so that I can do all the big giant shows in like Germany and stuff and do all my rock stuff overseas. And then my pop stuff, I'm hoping does well in the US and Canada, and hopefully it gets picked up by, Media Base and Nielsen SoundScan stations and iHeart and you name it. And I'm going to keep on pushing that because pop has always been my main, love. So.
Speaking of the live shows, have you done or are you into the idea of like doing festivals as opposed to like your own tour, like where it's just you?
Oh yeah, no, I want to do festivals, especially for the rock stuff. Festivals are key for the rock stuff, and then pop stuff. it would be really great if I could get on a tour just opening up for somebody that was bigger. That would be one of my first goals, to try to, get on a tour that I can get heard more, basically, right? So it's all about finding new fans, right?
Right. And when you're opening for somebody like, say, an established artist, is it important to be really similar to them so you appeal to the same people? Is there a certain level where you don't want to be too similar? Because they're
I
about
don't know.
to hear.
I think if you are similar, that you would probably do better, because the artist that everybody's there for likes that type of music. So if you're on the same lines of that type of music, then you're going to gain a lot of their fan base that end up, checking you out and listening to your music, right? So
right. So I was thinking if there's an issue with, like, the fatigue of hearing the similar sound, because they're going to listen to, like, the main artist, right, for a 45
not crazy similar sound. I mean, if I sound exactly like Lauren Daigle and I'm going on tour with Lauren Daigle, I'm probably not going to be picked up for that tour, because I would sound too much like her for that tour, right?
Yeah. But obviously you do want to entertain the audience that's there to see that artist. Yeah. So there has to be some crossover. So yeah, I bet there's an art to that.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm sure somebody out there figured it out. Because some tours just don't work. I know I've heard.
I know I've seen some openers, like,
people
open up for a pop artist, and then their opener is like alternative rock or something weird, and you're like.
I saw a really strange one. You're familiar with Fall Out Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughters and my wife went to a Fall Out Boy show, and the opener was Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay.
Who's like not like Fall Out Boy. Like, to me, I wouldn't have put them together, but I might be wrong too, though, because my daughters like both, but I don't know if it's afterwards or beforehand. But that seemed like an odd pairing to me. So,
well, the one thing I went to a Demi Lovato show, and what's really funny is Christina Perri was opening for her, and Christina Perri was just starting to get a name at the time, and I didn't buy the ticket to go see Demi Lovato. I bought the ticket so I could see Christina Perri.
Now that happens too, but that's great for Christina Perri, and other artists have done that too, right? Where the headliner was like, well, that's the last tour you'll be supporting anybody. You'll be headlining the next one. And she blew up with that. What was it? Jar of Hearts was her. Yeah. I know the
she's phenomenal live too. Just sounds as good or better than her album, which is always a bonus when you go listen to an artist that's live, is if they sound like their album, like actually sound like that. There's a lot of artists out there that use studio magic to make their sound, and then when you hear them live, it's not the same. So
yeah, that's what blew me away about Queen, because Queen's such a huge sound on their album, and somehow they managed to do it live with 3 people playing instruments.
Yep, you can do that. That's what computers are for, to be able to get all the sounds, right? But as long as you can sing it live and you sound like you do on the album, then the fans will love it, right?
Oh yeah, and I think if you have Freddie Mercury in your band, it'd be hard to go wrong. So.
Yeah, he's kind of an entertainer,
that dude,
hardcore entertainer.
Yeah, it definitely goals, right? Live sound goals, right there, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
But, shifting back to Shimmer, let's go over another track on the album. I like to give the viewers and listeners a few songs to tempt them to go over and binge the whole thing. So what else, either off the album or the other single that you sent me, you kind of quarterback that?
Yeah, that one's not even out yet, but yeah, it will be out on the 19th. Another one off of the album would be Fading From My Mind. I wrote that while I was in Italy on a songwriting workshop with Jed Friedman. And I wrote it in my hotel room on a keyboard. And I wrote it with my girlfriend, Deb James. And then I had my collaborator, Corey Johnson. He fully produced it. And it came out exactly how I wanted it. When we got back from Italy, I sat down with it, and I actually wrote I call it the reggae vibe on it. And what's funny is it's a sad song with a happy beat, but it still works, which is just bizarre. It's just a really bizarre, cool song.
Any particular like inspiration for it when you were writing, or reason you wrote it?
Deb James hates when I say this, but I call it my happy death song.
Happy death. Hey, there's an audience for that.
Yeah, no, you have to hear it to understand what that means. But yeah.
Well, we're going to hear it right now, and get ready for some happy death. I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully a long time from now, but I hope it's a happy one. You know, if you gotta go through death, you might as well be happy about it. But
it's a happy death song.
Yeah.
It talks about, you know, losing somebody and that sort of thing, but it's got a really happy music.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. Let's play it right now. We'll be right back.
Picture in the frame, so bright, like a candle I exhale. I feel I lost a piece inside, lost pages of our tale. Even though our walls surround, like a story in detail, memories are all I had. Love can be so frail, it's the kind of loss you can feel in your throat. It's the kind of break you can feel in your soul. I can feel you slowly fading from my mind through the stillness of my heart and the chaos of my mind. I will always reach for moments buried deep inside. Don't wanna see you faded from my mind. Your voice steals my heart. Silence is escape. Times the sun will shine, even on a rainy day. Sometimes forever after is after you've gone away. Sometimes your happy ending ended on the wrong page. Sometimes the darkest moments from light casting shade. Somewhere the sun is rising as the hero rides away. I can feel you slowly fading from my mind through the stillness of your heart and the chaos of my mind. I will always reach for moments buried deep inside. Don't wanna see you faded from my mind. Can see you slowly faded from my life. I can feel it slowly change in the stillness of my mind. I will always reach for moments, but the buried deep inside. Can see you slowly fade. I can feel you slowly fading from my mind through the stillness of your heart and the chaos of my mind. I will always reach for moments buried deep inside. Don't wanna see you faded from my mind. Faded from my mind. Faded from my mind. My mind.
You just end the song too. I remember that piece of advice. No long fade outs. That's the 80s, right?
That's the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, I felt odd because I'm like, yeah, dun, 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 you know, but then you're like,
Yep.
oh, it's
Happy
sad.
death song.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know, it's just pleasant. Yeah, it is happy death. Way to go. I like it. I like it. It's on the playlist too. All those songs we played today, including
Awesome.
Toy Soldiers as well. And I definitely want to make sure we do the other song before we get out of here.
Sure.
But we'll get to that. And coincidentally, that'll be two songs that were here first because one of your other songs premiered on the last show.
Yep. Priceless.
Yeah, Priceless. Yeah. So, and look how big that is. And the first place it was ever played was right here. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's got to be worth something. And if you ever sign 1 million CDs, that idea started here too. So
Exactly.
there you go. We're changing the world.
Yes. And I'm going to sign 1 million CDs. It's going to happen.
I have no doubt. And that, like I say, just fascinates me. 11 and a half days cumulatively. So, I mean, you could do 12-hour shifts. It would only take you, 3 weeks.
A month. Yeah.
Yeah, 22, 23 days. Yeah, might as well say a month. So, yeah, if you spread it out across a month, I mean, you could get down to like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
That's more reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a job, right? I'm sure there's people that do more labor than that for 8 hours a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably don't get as much out of it, as much like fulfillment is what I mean. Not like, money or whatnot, but fulfillment because it's going. What I want to know is how many freaking markers that would take.
I don't know.
You'd have to have a.
I'll let you know when it occurs.
Shimmer Johnson sponsored by Staples.
Sharpies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that would be like you'd have to be ambidextrous, just do 2 at a time.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
Very good. Then we can cut it down. Then it's only 6 whole days.
Mm.
Of nonstop. It's got to be some Guinness record for that or something. Another good marketing ploy.
That's true.
Speaking of marketing, when I was talking about festivals with Jeff the other night, I did not know that some artists pay to be on the festival.
Yes, I was gonna pay to be on to open for Godsmack with my De Benedetta album, but you have to pounce on them really fast, and they're about $1,500 to $1,800 to open up for the one festival for a half hour.
Mm-hmm. But
you gain lots of fans and lots of people, right? So because you're opening up for the major, so.
And I think that's worth more than $1,800 of Google ads, or Instagram ads.
It is.
Because you don't know who's seeing your ads or who cares. They just scroll by, Oh, okay, Shimmer Johnson. Yeah, just keep going. I don't know who the hell that is. I think G Slade had her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're at the festival, I mean, you got them captive,
Exactly. So, I mean, you have to jump and pounce on those ones when they get offered to you. But I didn't jump on it at the time because I didn't have the money at the moment. So by the time I had the money, the spot was already gone. So
it was the secret out on that, and that is it more expensive now because bands know that that other bands are trying to.
No, I think it's about the same. It depends on.
That kind of blows my mind. I'm wondering now, the last festival I went to or the next festival I went to, who's getting paid to be there and who's paying to be there. That's kind of fascinating.
Well, the lead act is always being paid to be there.
Right.
But
the headliners, the people.
Most of the openers or the side stages, they're not getting paid to be there at all. They're just there to market themselves. Or some of them, if they're opening for the headliner, they're probably paying to open for them.
Right. So the one I went to last had 3 stages, and usually there was either one show going on at the main stage or 2 different shows at
the B stages don't usually have paid people on them. They're just local bands usually, or
wow, that's interesting. I found some of those to be some of the more fun ones.
Yep.
And I discovered new favorite bands just by walking around a festival, and you're going to check.
And
them out.
That's why lots of bands will jump on the B stages to get their music out there, gain some more fans, sell some merch.
Right on. Yeah, there's nothing like buying merch when you're at that show. It's almost like you're compelled to do it. It's almost not even conscious. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's the Shimmer. She was just on stage. I'm gonna grab her shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what you should do? You should do a festival as 3 different acts.
I totally should.
I'd be like, who was your favorite, Shimmer Johnson or Aurora Lights? Which one did you like? I don't know, but I got both shirts. That'd be great.
Double marketing.
Yeah, And so do you subscribe to like the idea that any intention is good, whether somebody likes you or not, that if they're talking about you, then
yeah, pretty much any good or bad, if people are talking about you, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously less bad, preferably, but it is what it is, good or bad. You're still getting people to talk about you. And then again, good or bad, they're going to go listen to your music to see how bad you are, or they're going to go listen to music to see how good you are.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and make their own decision, right?
Rachel Black blew up because everybody was like, look how bad this Friday song is.
Yeah. And it is bad.
Yeah, but she probably made
She made tons off of that.
Yeah,
She'll probably never have to work again.
And it's one of the worst things I've ever seen as far as like, and
that's what I say. Good or bad marketing is still marketing.
And I don't mean that in like a shitty way that she's not talented or anything like that, but it would definitely, you could tell it was like, come to Pop Stars R Us and we'll make a video. And then the creepy rapper dude just was out of place for me in that video. And he's like following a school bus. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It was just really weird. He's like,
I've never watched it. I've only really heard the song. And
you should just watch it with the sound off. Like it was an experience, but hey, more power to Rachel Black, who's probably working a lot less hard than I am to pay the bills.
Yep, me too.
So, who's the joke on here, right?
Exactly.
But that's kind of why I was asking, like, I've seen other artists, they'll make like, the blah, blah fan site, but it's really just like, it looks like a fan page, but it's like them really that started it. I wonder if it'd be just as effective like you started Shimmer Sucks, page over here that.
I don't think I would want to start a Shimmer Sucks page.
You capture everybody though, like the people that love you and then the people that don't. And, like I said, it all just, the streams will just go up, man.
That's true.
They'd be like, definitely don't go spin Priceless. It's awful. And everybody's like, let's see what Priceless has like 1 million. And you're signing 1 million CDs and,
yeah,
that'd be hilarious. That'd be great though. Cause then it's like, jokes on them. Exactly. Well, that was fun. That was fun hypothesizing right there. Let's get to some concrete matters though. And I didn't mean to make a concrete like wall pun joke there, but I guess you do this enough, it just kind of flows out. So the song you sent me is called Walls, and
yes.
I like the artwork for it. I don't have it up here, but it's going to be over the song while it's playing, so everybody will see it. Tell me about that artwork, because it's kind of cool. It's kind of provocative, and it grabs your attention because the word's huge. But I like it. Like, tell me the idea behind that artwork.
Well, Walls is about basically breaking down the walls inside your head, really, and in relationships in general. Pretty much with your significant other, but it could be relationships. Like air quotes.
Significant.
But basically, Walls, it's just about getting over, breaking down the walls that stop you from having emotions and stop you from having a healthy relationship. That sort of thing is what the song's about. I wrote it back in 2001. And it's a song I always wanted to release, and I just back then I didn't have the gear that I have now to make it sound pro and perfect, and so I started going back through all of my stuff, and I was like, I should make a legacy album, like all my old stuff from like 2001 to 2015 and make 2 or 3 albums out of it. Cause I have over 300 songs, right? And they're all my older ones. And
yeah, you need to get that
and
library
Walls was
published.
one of the main ones that I wanted to get out there. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna release it. And it's a slow piano ballad, and it's literally just a piano and voice and a little bit of strings. It's mainly gonna be used to try to get placements in shows like Grey's Anatomy, or like it would work really well in TV series. So my goal is to this year as well is to try to start getting more sync opportunities, and get my music into film and TV would be awesome, because that's where a lot of the money is too right now, is getting the sync licensing fee. And
yeah, because that's residual, right? Like when it's sent to syndication and streamed on Netflix and whatnot, you
exactly.
get, and it all adds
paid
up
every time.
Now, do you have to pitch all that yourself, or is that something your management helps you do, or a PR firm? Or
I have most of my songs registered with So Stereo, with MK Music. He hooked me up with So Stereo, and it gives you sync opportunities for your music. So I do that. Plus, I know a lot of people in LA in the film and TV industry. So slowly I'm going to start sending some of that material to them as well. And hopefully one of them gets picked up. And
then great crossover opportunity here. Just hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You star on, you guest star on an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
That would be awesome.
Because your hand doesn't work anymore because you've signed 1 million CDs.
That would be a good episode.
And then the paparazzi and fans calls the hospital to shut down because they're all trying to get in there to see you because they've heard you're inside, right? And you're like famous. And then like an ambulance can't get through, and it's very dramatic. And it's all because Shimmer is at the hospital holding things up because she wanted to sign, Like I think the script writes itself. I think I got it down. We got drama. We have entertainment.
Yep.
Cross promotion. We got everything you need.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, isn't that song that premiered on G Slade's Indie Music Showcase? Like, yeah, I think so. And now since I'm looking at the artwork, because I have my folders open over here on my screen, and I have the artwork for Glass next to the artwork for Walls. I'm like, now I want a shirt that's like a crossover. It says Glass Walls,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd wear it. It'd be cool. But anyway.
I would.
Yeah. So this is a premiere, people, world premiere. Another one on the show. To quote a famous DJ, another one. Like I'm just playing it from Windows. That's how new this is. So you said it's coming out on the 19th?
Yeah, on May 19th. I have it coming out.
Right. So I definitely got this show edited and posted before that. So this is a premiere. Because otherwise I'd be lying to my audience, right?
Yep.
Which I've never done. So there you go. Unless I was talking about myself, but not about my own. All right. Well, here we go. We're going to play Walls by Shimmer Johnson. And it's first time you guys have heard it out there. So look for that release on the 19th.
May 19th.
And which is a special day, right? Family birthday?
Yes, my son's birthday.
All right. Well, we'll wish him a happy birthday and wish you 1 million CD sales and Grey's Anatomy guest stars and,
I wish.
paparazzi crowds at the hospital and all that.
Yeah.
And then they got to sneak you out on the helicopter, of course.
That's true. Yeah.
But you're like throwing more signatures down at the crowd. And they're like, she's got to stop writing.
Yeah.
And then the last scene that fades out is like the boss going, she can't. And then fade out. And then your song plays. Done. See? It's not that hard. I can do this all day.
Yep.
All right. That's enough of that. All right, guys, let me mute. Like everybody's like, please mute. Yes. All right. And we're gonna play Walls and be right back.
hard to see. I need to find a way to what it used to be, to analyze the reasons why I made this choice that led me to you. Feel my breath reaching for warmth. It's hard to feel when you're not around. All I see is dim lights and no one to feel. Hold me now, hold me tight so I can see the love that we share. Can't lose this light that brings us even closer together when I'm with you. I want you to see my feelings within, concern all of you. Let all walls come down. No holding back from you, from you, from you. Can't you feel my pain reaching for trust? I can't believe you broke them down. Now I see what I found. My path is so free. I want you to see my feelings within, concern all of you. Let all walls come down. No holding back from you. They all come down for you. The walls come down for you.
That signature shimmer finish, it just stops.
It just stops. Yeah.
But I mean, you made your point. That's all you needed. Well, I feel very privileged to have heard that very early on before others. So thank you for sharing that with us. And just so you know, I was imagining, that montage at the end of the show where like the storylines are wrapping up and one family's walking out of the hospital, or they're looking at the baby in the nursery. And like that's right where that would go, right? The crowds dispersing from outside that was blocking the ambulance earlier. And,
Exactly.
some people are satisfied, some people are sad, some people are elated, some people are crushed, and then come back next week. That's how it goes. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're going for there. So I guess any song could technically find a place in the right, show or movie. But is there a different way you approach writing something if you think you want it to be in sync, or is it you write something and then you're like, that's good for
that's
sync
pretty much what I do.
Like,
I never write for a specific thing because if I'm writing for something specific, it never comes out right. I just kind of write and then figure out what I'm doing with it later.
See where it fits.
Yeah.
Now, is that true for the alter egos as well? Or do you actually sit down and plan to write, Shimmer music, Aurora music, the rock music? Sorry, I never pronounced it
The
right, so I'm gonna
Benedetta.
try. Yeah, you say it so great. There's
Yeah,
no
no,
point
the
in me
rock
trying.
stuff, when we're writing a rock song, obviously, we take one of Barry's riffs and then we start from there, whether it's a slower riff or a faster riff. And then, I just write a top line over top of it. So that's how the rock stuff rolls.
Right.
So
that's going to be your next single, the song we just played, Walls. How many more you got in the pipeline already that are pretty much just waiting on the release date?
I have another one called It's Fate's Turn that I wrote with Thornton Douglas Klein. He's actually had number ones on the world indie charts, and his song 26 Letters is being played on, I think, 300 media-based stations right now. So he's doing really well. And we wrote that song last month. And so we're aiming to release it around May 31st, June 1st. And it's a pop song. And we're going to have a lyric video for it. And we're going to try to push it in the UK and other places and see how well it does. So super excited about that. Hopefully it gets on the charts too. And hopefully some media-based stations pick it up. So.
Well, if your early 2021 is any indicator, you got some really good momentum. So hopefully that'll keep up. And geez, I had a great follow-up line there and it escapes me now. Oh, I was going to ask you, I know you like, or at least last time we talked, you were using TikTok a lot. Are you like seeing people do duets and things like that and having fun with your music?
Yeah, I've been doing duets and I do live shows there all the time. Yeah, I do live shows. I put up my releases and I do quirky little videos and just being fun. But, it's TikTok, so you can dance or sing, or I try to stick to singing because that's my thing. But
yeah, do you ever do any of the TikTok challenges?
No, not really.
None of that trendy stuff?
I am not a dancer. You do not want to see me dance. I can't dance.
I think that's some of the, but that's in the vein of Rachel Black, right? Like sometimes you want to see that like kind of thing that you shouldn't be seeing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it may work for you. I tell you, the most popular video I've posted is just my cat walking through the new cat door I put on the bathroom. It's pretty cool. It has a hinge and a doorknob. It's called, is it Meow Manor or something like that?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was like this startup company we bought it from, and it's like a two-sided thing. It looks really like ornate, and it like a big wooden door, that's like arched and has a doorknob and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got tired of her wanting to get in to eat, but we didn't want the dogs to go in there because they, eat her food and tear up the litter box and all that. So
makes sense.
Somehow that made it into this podcast episode. I have no idea, but we made it connect somehow. So this has been an adventure, though. We've been talking for an hour and a half. I don't know if you even realize it.
Yes, we have.
You're like, yeah, I realized it. Every minute I realized it. Yes. But yeah, it flies by for me. I'm having a great time, and definitely encourage everybody to check out the whole Enter Me album and look forward to Walls, which you heard first here, which is exciting.
Yes.
Makes me feel special. So appreciate that. As soon as it's out, we'll put it on the playlist, obviously.
Okay.
And just wishing you luck the rest of 2021. Hopefully next time we talk, you got a cast on your hand from signing all those CDs.
That would be awesome.
Or we just do a live stream of you signing and you just tell me how it feels. And I'm like, how exciting is it now, Shimmer?
I'm 4 days in. I can't feel my right hand.
Yeah, you're like, straw. I said straw. Somebody bring me a straw.
Everybody's signature will be a little different after the third day. It'd be like, all you're getting is an S and a J now.
You're like, wipe, and someone's like with a towel wipes your forehead. You're like, straw. Bite over here.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing. You talk about some promotion.
Well, you can go to my website at www.shimmerjohnson.com, and my album is available there. You can buy it and I will sign it and I will send it to you. Or you can go to Spotify and just look up Shimmer Johnson, or Apple Music or any other platform and download the song, because that gives us the best numbers when we're getting paid for the streams. Downloads always count more than just streaming. So always download everybody's song off of Spotify and Apple Music. It's a bonus for the artist. So definitely do that.
That actually makes sense. I should download my show's playlist. That'll help all my guests.
Yep.
Wow. Another industry inside info there, which probably isn't that inside, but you got to go out there and look for it, right? Which obviously you have great initiative and drive to not just be a good artist, but a good business person as well. So that's pretty awesome. Do you have any energy left to promote others, or would that ever interest you?
Yeah, I have other artists that work out of, cause I have my small little indie label, which is Catalyst Records. And, like we're going to be releasing Jesse Lipscomb's song, The Valley, pretty soon. It'll be at probably the end of May as well. And, he's a fabulous singer, and, he's also an actor too. So I'll be doing a little bit of promotion stuff for him, when we release it. And Katie Watson, we released out of the UK. Me and her had written a song together, and we released that last month, I believe, or the month before. It's a couple months ago. But she's a UK artist, and it's doing pretty good. And yeah, so I just release all different types of albums. We have a rock album. It's kind of like a Nightwish. They're called Cinder's Flame, from Catalyst Records. They'll be released probably in June, and end of June, I believe. And it's their first album, and they're kind of like a Nightwish type band. And then, we have a couple other rock bands, and yeah, for the most part, it's doing well, and I do help promote them. I don't do all the legwork because I wouldn't be able to do that for that many bands. It's just too much.
Yeah, but they sold a million CDs too.
Yeah, I do give them all the information on what they should be doing, so they get the whole Shimmer package of what I'm doing here. He needs to do the exact same thing, and I make them do it, but they get all the paperwork for it. What to do.
Are you doing any of those like membership based things like Patreon or anything?
No. I should, but I haven't.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, is that on purpose, or you just hadn't got to it? Because I know some artists do that to really.
I had a Patreon thing once, but I really don't know how it works properly to make it work for me. So I still have to look into it more, in all honesty.
I know there's way more people out there willing to spend money on people they're really passionate about. I personally haven't subscribed to any Patreons, but I know a lot of people that do a ton of Patreon stuff somehow. They'll have like tiers, where you get like this, that, and that paid based on your tier, and it's just another income stream, like residual income. So
exactly. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna look into it. I have a month off. Wow. Thanks to COVID mandated lockdowns.
Thanks, COVID. COVID jerk. I'm telling you, man, just come to America.
So grateful.
We barely pay attention to it down here, whether you want to or not. But I don't know. We'll see how all that pans out. Vaccines are up. Everybody's getting vaccinated now, so that's great. So hopefully that'll start trickling up north. I joked with my friend Tim. I was like, when did America ever do anything medically useful before Canada? Usually Canada's ahead of us on the, medical treatments.
Depends on the leaders, and our current Canadian leaders are, I don't even care that this is on a podcast. Jason Kenney is horrible, and anybody that votes for him should be ashamed.
Hey, it's real emotion. That's what we're all about. But and you can be like, if you want to hear my rant, you got to sign up for my Patreon. There you go. We've solved so many problems tonight on one show. It's almost unfair. that we give the show away. Maybe I should do the Patreon with you ranting, and you know, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't think that would sell.
you never know what's going to sell. I mean, that's Rachel Black. I'm just going to keep pointing that out. Every time somebody says something, I'll be like, well, Rachel Black's rich. Anything can happen. But it was really great having you back on. But before we go, you know, any parting words of anything, inspiration, wishes, general statement?
I hope everybody that listens to this podcast will go and check out my music and download the album and share it with whoever they think might like it. And that's all us artists can ask for, is just to listen to our stuff. You don't necessarily have to buy it, but if you're on streaming packages, whether it's on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music, just download that artist that you're listening to's album and music, and it really helps contribute to their sales and the amount of money they make from the streams. So the more you listen, the better, and add it to your playlist, and just do that with any artist that you love, whether they're independent or major. So
right on. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not anti-major artists around here. That's what we all want to be, right?
Yeah, so, exactly.
But everybody's indie at some point.
Exactly, we all are.
So
it only takes the one song to break into the major market,
or a really good Grey's Anatomy script.
Exactly.
One or the other. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, you know, like Take My Breath Away in the Top Gun movie, they were absolutely no name Berlin. Nobody had ever heard of them before. That song got picked for that movie, and then they were all big and famous, right? So
yeah, totally.
It really depends on the what's offered to you. Like if you can get your songs in movies, then definitely do it. If you can get your songs in film, do it. Basically just keep pushing yourself and don't give up, and don't let people make you feel horrible if they don't like your music. Not everybody's going to like your music. You just keep on pushing your true self, which is your music and what you're putting out there to the world. And there is a ton of fans that are going to love your stuff no matter who you are. So
yeah, they just got to hear
have to find that base.
Yeah, it's just about getting in front of people. So
yep.
And no, that's great advice. And nobody's going to be as passionate about you as much as you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to believe in it, and then surround yourself with people that believe in you. You don't need that negativity in your life, all those negative beliefs. Yeah, and if they do hate you, invite them to start a page about it, so it stirs up more interest.
Yeah, good or bad, still good.
Yeah, although
bad sucks, but
yeah, it would suck though if that page got more views than your own. That could really backfire. Hey, like I say, some people hate the Beatles, and Rachel Black is rich, and I think that's all we need to say about about the fickle nature of music fans. But
exactly,
I really appreciate being on the show. And speaking of downloading, you guys are welcome to download all 50 something episodes of this podcast, and you don't have to listen all at once. But man, that's over 100. It's somewhere between 100 and 150 hours of content. If you like this style of interview and to hear some songs. So, I mean, I love it. You know, it's fun because I feel like it's it's a better connection, I guess, than just like a DJ radio kind of thing. You know,
for sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's fun. We get to talk about really whatever, and we still get the music in, and we understand the deeper meanings behind it, and the who the artist is as a human, which is what I think a lot of people forget. And they, like flame these artists online, and they're really mean. Like, these are people. Like, I don't care how famous you are, you're still just
we're all people. Yeah.
We're just a bag of cells and trying to make it. So, but with that, I'm going to sign out. I appreciate everybody listening and watching another episode of G Slade's Indie Music Showcase. Check out Shimmer Johnson's new album, Enter Me, and keep an eye out for all the new singles coming. But I appreciate you coming on, and let's do it again sometime.
For sure. Right. Thank you for having me.
Peace out. All right. Hey, everybody. I want to thank you again for listening to another show today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I had a great time talking to our guest, and I can't wait to talk to another one next week and hopefully every week afterwards. And hopefully you keep coming back to listen. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to not only stream the podcast, but download it, catch it on YouTube. Wherever you can get it. I appreciate all the support. And speaking of support, please support the sponsor of the show, which right now, as you can tell, dude looks just like me. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify or something else, just take my word for it. We look alike. And that's going to be G Slade Music. Look up G Slade. That's G space Slade, Slade, like the band, but with a G. And find me on Spotify or your favorite music streaming platform and check out the latest single, Canceled. That's right. G Slade is canceled, but you are not, and you can listen to as much of it as you want. In fact, we're going to play it right now on the podcast. But if you want to hear it on demand at any time, go check it out over on Spotify. You can go to gslade.com and find your way there. Or just look up G Slade Canceled on iTunes, Deezer. I guess people use Deezer. I don't know. Anyway, look up Canceled, the latest single featuring the beautiful human being and wonderful person and talented musician and artist, World's Not Gray, all the way from Barbados. It's an international affair, but catch it before it's canceled for real, because it's a little controversial, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. You be the judge. So send me some feedback on Twitter at G Slade Music or at G Slade Music Podcast. Either account, I would appreciate the feedback on the show, on the music. Please support the sponsor. And if you want some merch, you can head on over to merch.gslade.com and pick up G Slade Music related merchandise, G Slade Show related merchandise. Again, thank you. Even if you don't buy anything, if you stream and download the song, I'm forever in your debt, and I appreciate all the support. And we will see you back here next week with another great artist. Thank you. Peace out.
Told me I'd be canceled if I broke it down and told the truth. I guess I just don't give a fuck, so let me break it down for you. I'm speaking to the people who believe in what I'm speaking to. Gonna break out my guitar and tell the whole world what I'm about to do. Push free speech to the limit till they ban me off of Twitter. While the rich are getting richer, split the road right down the middle. Make us dance for the scraps, pretend